Alright, so these tracks you can see are worn quite far down. The guy at the Bobcat dealer said when you start to see these metal bars inside here, then you know you need to start thinking about it. And we got almost 700 hours on this thing. So yeah, 694. And he told me that 300 hours was normal. So these are, you can see how cut up they are. There's a lot of these, like this metal bar right here showing. It's very bad, and eventually these things will be damaged. But these are the original Bobcat ones, so it's really a testament to their quality. So we're going to replace these. You have to remove this little plate. There's just one bolt to it. Oh, you take this one off and it collapses. Yeah.
Goodness. Okay, I just forgot to say that.
It's my job, Grandma.
Yeah, I see that.
I just wanted to check my idlers here and make sure they all turned easy and didn't have any weird sort of bearing scrape or anything like that. They all felt pretty good. They're all oil baths, so yeah, that was a relief. So the way this gadget works is it's got two holes here to basically, depending on where the bolt is oriented, you can always get this thing attached. And it prevents that adjustment bolt from turning freely when you're running the machine. I lost the plate on this one side. The bolt broke off, I guess, during use, which is kind of odd. Maybe it was over torqued or something. But this plate has to get reinstalled. If it won't go on based on the orientation of the bolt, you could obviously turn it a partial turn, or you could flip it any direction that you want. And these holes and that hole allows you basically complete orientation control on how you want to hook this up. So what you need to know is the flat on that chrome, and then there's a flat with like a bolt head or something sticking off of it right there. And you go from flat to flat. So you ram this up against that chrome, and then you push it in like this, and you can see barely, because it's black, but you can barely see that those are just touching. There's enough room for this to slide in, but no extra. And that's how you know your track is tensioned properly. There's a spring inside there that controls everything else. So you go to that dimension, and that's how you tighten this. And then you can see the bolt right there, which is actually when you You turn these counterclockwise to tighten the track. So you're tight, it's like righty loosey, lefty tighty, okay? And then that doesn't go that way, so we'll do a single bolt like that. Oops. And then just throw my bolt in here. I also observed the easiest way to get this off was from the front. You have somebody, you jack up both, you know, in the center on the back and the front obviously, so the whole thing is off the ground. And then it runs that drive sprocket. You run it forward while you're pulling out on this and it'll walk off that wheel. This is the area where the tracks generally slip off anyways when you're driving the machine. So that's the best spot. And then, because it's very hard to get the sprocket and put that wheel on last or the sprocket on last is really, really hard. You need the propulsion power from the sprocket to roll the thing forward while you're forcing the track on. So I think this is definitely the spot to go to. But yeah, you're supposed to retension these tracks. Let's see. Every 50 hours it says track tension, which is a piece of cake. It's really easy. So you just take off one bolt and then you adjust one other bolt and that's it. You need a big socket, 1.5 inch socket, and I use an adapter so I can use my 1/2 inch driver. I like these things, these help a lot, but it doesn't move quite as easy after a little time. You can tell it's just hard to turn that big bolt in there. I also wanted to mention too, this is not the style that came with the Bobcat. I don't know if there was a redesign. They used to call it a high flotation design. And I don't know if you can see because of how old these are, but the tread shape was like a U, and then it would go into the next one like that, or like this. And so there were less gaps. So this, I would describe this as being more of an all-weather dealio compared to automotive tires, and then this one would be more of an aggressive, like, off-road tire on a truck. So this is going to cause more troubles in the yard. This is not a high flotation track, I don't think, but we're going to run it because that's what the dealership gave us. Looks like relatively dry ground here, but not leaving any marks on the ground. So that's pretty much it. You know, I'm a big fan of using the brand on certain products. I think tracks are one of those things where you kind of take your money in your hands when you buy an outside product. It's probably better to get the Bobcat. And mysteriously, nobody really knows why, all the other brands claim that they're just as good as the Bobcat, but that's the typical aftermarket behavior. Bobcat is responsible for producing something that'll work a minimum number of hours, and so I think they go that route, and they use pretty good tracks on these things. I personally like them a lot, and I wouldn't go with another brand of track until I see some serious defect or problem. $1,000 for a set of tracks ain't bad. I mean, I'd pay for a truck, I'd pay $1,000 for 4 tires, you know. So, and that's just, yeah. So in my mind, I'm probably getting the best deal for my money by using the Bobcat track. And you know, I'm not trying to convince anybody out there not to do the aftermarket. I just think the aftermarket is going to prove itself to be inferior for you, and so that's why I just like to, as a precautionary measure, I got 700 hours out of my Bobcat tracks. Why would I go for an aftermarket unit that's not guaranteed that? I mean, to me, the brand quality speaks for itself. 700 hours is more than double what most people get, according to the Bobcat guy. He said some people drive them down to racing slicks, and you know, mine were obviously down to that point where you could see metal sticking through them, and they were ready to go at any time. So in any case, you guys have a great day and enjoy your Bobcat. All right, bye.